Minnesota Department of Transportation continues its work on the Highway 14 bridge over Highway 22. The fascia beam and parts of the bridge rail and deck needed to be replaced after a vehicle struck the bridge back in January. The bridge pieces were delivered to the site and lifted into place with help of a large crane. Crews worked to secure those pieces in place. This is a major step in the reconstruction, but there's still more to do. Weather permitting, repairs are expected to be complete in early October.